Hello, welcome back to Reads of an Apple. My name is Stacy and I'm here to film my first video for Vlogmas. This will be the first year I'm participating in Vlogmas and I have a couple plans. So I do have the Adagio teas. I'll pull it up. This is 24 days of tea by Adagio. And I'm very excited. This will be the third or fourth year I've been doing Adagio. The first year I did a tea advent calendar. I did one of the English ones and I was a little disappointed because it was 24 days, but it was 12 days repeated. So I was a little disappointed in that. And so then the next year I tried Adagio and I got their bagged advent calendar and I enjoyed it a lot. And then the following year, so my second year doing Adagio, I contacted them and asked them if the blends were going to be the same, and they said if you do the loose leaf tea, not the bagged tea, they try to do new blends every year so it's not repeated. But I don't know if the bagged one is 100% the same, but they said the loose leaf at least has more variety in it. So since then I have switched to the loose leaf. I'm very excited. I will put Adagio down below. They are my favorite tea company. I am a huge fan. And so I'm excited to do this. So for Vlogmas, I will be doing my advent calendar. And then I also have one other advent calendar, but it's only a 12-day, so we won't see that one till later on this month. And I will go over that when I start doing that one, so I'm not going to worry about too much, but I will say there is another advent calendar that will be added to this. And let's just get into it a little bit and then we'll chat about what other plans I have. So tonight I did this is one of the Adagio ceramic mugs. It has a lid and then it has a little divot here you can see for a strainer bag. I have my boiled water in here. I don't know if you can see, maybe a little bit you can see the steam, but I am ready and I have my little tea strainer. This is the one that actually came with the ceramic mug. So let's just get into it, but I will read the back since it's the first day. In wintry woods under twinkling stars, merrily carolers come from afar. Welcome the season with wonder and glee and share the warmth of these 24 teas. So I'm excited, and this is like super pretty, and forgive all of the fingerprints. It is just collecting my fingerprints like crazy. And then here is the inside. We got a mixture of shiny gold and silver, and then we've got some red popped in. So let me find day one. I'm super excited. Of course I just ripped it. Alrighty, day one. And at least for the loose leaves, they usually have really cute designs on them as well. Ooh. Okay, I'm excited. Alright, so day one is Honeybush Pumpkin Chai. I've had some of their Honeybush teas before. I don't know if I've had the pumpkin chai. I do have a spreadsheet that I have kept track of the previous years, and I should have brought it up beforehand. But so this has honeybush tea, cinnamon, cardamom, ginger, cocoa nibs, natural pumpkin spice flavor, and safflower. And this is caffeine free. I love their honey bushes. I'm a big fan of their chais, and their pumpkin spice I think is really good. So I'm excited to try the blend of this. But I know even if I've had this one in their previous, let's see, I need to look around December of last year because that would have been when I filled this out. So, honey bush. Okay. So this is my 4th year doing it. I have 2 years in my spreadsheet, and the first year I didn't keep track. So this is my 4th year doing it. So that is super exciting. And from the two previous years that I have tracked, this is a new blend. And usually it has little things so you can just rip it. But okay, there we go. Ooh, it is fighting me. Just use my scissors here. So this says 7 to 10 minutes at 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I know technically I should be doing that to make the most out of my tea, but I don't usually worry about temperature stuff just because I don't have a temperature controlled tea kettle. Ooh, that is very cinnamony, very spicy. So it is a little deceiving in the name just because it says pumpkin chai. So it makes me think more pumpkin, not pumpkin spice. And this is definitely more pumpkin spice, as you could probably tell from the description. Ooh, but cinnamon is like the prevailing. Whoa. So that is what it looks like. So there's a lot. There's a lot in here. And the cocoa nibs really stand out. Okay, but I am excited. I'll take off my lid here. And we will get it steeping because this is a big steep. Get my little infuser in there. Alrighty. And we will let that do its thing. I might try it before the 7 to 10 minutes. But we will see what it looks like. I do prefer my teas a little bit darker. And I will add sweetener at times. But I'm going to try all these without sweetener first. So, while that is steeping, I originally had planned to do the Hallmark Christmas movies, countdown to Christmas movies for this year, to do like little mini reviews on them. And I would have had to like put a couple together a few times because they have more than 24 movies that came out this year. But I figured out my order and how I wanted to do them. I was going to pair up the October ones, and then over Thanksgiving they had back-to-back debuts, so like 2 a night for a couple of nights. And so I got it all like condensed. And then I was like, okay, this weekend I was going to start watching them. I'm currently in between places, but when I moved from my old place, I had satellite TV, I canceled it. So I don't have normal TV anymore, so I cannot record them. And I thought, okay, I'll just sign up for Hallmark's streaming service, and either like through Amazon or just do it through their own website. And I was looking to make sure that all of the current movies had been added, and they were not. I was just like, oh my gosh. Only a couple of the new movies had come out. And I mean, I was doing this in the end of November, and the first couple movies came out in like around October 20th. So I had like a month and a half of movies that I could start watching, and only like 2 or 3 were available. And then I saw, okay, Hallmark is now available on Peacock, and it's the new movies, but it's the day after they debut, and then it's only for like 3 days, and then they take it down. And then they just like disappear. So I don't know. I do, because Hallmark is on Peacock now. I could watch them live, but when the ones I was wanting to watch would be available weren't really syncing up to me having to film videos, and I wouldn't really be able to like sit down on a weekend and watch 4 or 5 of them and just have them playing while I was doing stuff. So I had to change my plans, but we'll see. Maybe I'll do a little mini review if I ever get to watch any, or I might just have double the Christmas movies to watch next year if I have real TV back at that point. But instead, I decided I'm going to try to read a lot of Christmas novellas, and I have a couple picked out that I have been wanting to get to, so they are going to be probably what I'm picking up first. But then I do have a list of other ones that I have marked that I've either bought or saved on my Amazon, or that I've marked as to read on my Goodreads. So I'm going to be compiling a list for when I get through the ones that are like my priorities that I really want to read first. I will then do a spinner wheel to get through some of those. I'm going to attempt to do a holiday. I might burn myself out. I know I need to also kind of start looking at my end of the year stuff, and I feel like I need to go on a sci-fi binge at some point. But I have quite a few sci-fi and like alien Christmas romances. So we might hit like a snaggle of those at some point. But that will be in the future. So I can't guarantee that I will read them on the day that I'm doing the video. But in today's case, I did read this novella earlier today. I'm wearing my Avalanche jersey, if you could tell. And so I read this during the game. And the first holiday novella I picked up for Vlogmas is Naughty and Nice. And this is I'm just gonna check my tea here. So this is a about 70 to 80 page novella. It is available on Amazon. Not KU. I had gotten it when it was free, so I actually already had this downloaded. And this is the third book in the series, which is Holiday Valley, and this is by Kaylin Evans. And I really enjoyed this. This is the first Kaylin Evans I've read, and usually I like to only stick to reading things 10 at not 10 out of 10 in order. I was thinking about what I'm going to rate the tea. But focusing on the book, I did not realize it was the third book. I was just looking for what was already on my Kindle Christmas-wise that I had purchased recently, and I was like, okay, this sounds cute. So I picked it up, not realizing it's the third book. There is kind of hints to the hero in this book, his best friend being paired up with somebody. So I'm guessing that it's one of the first two books, but it's not like, this is totally, you could read it without reading any of the other books. And I give this 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this. This was a great way to kick off like my Christmas holiday reading. I have read like other holiday books this year, but not Christmas wintery holidays. But yeah, so this is Jocelyn and Luke, and this is new age-ish. They're like they're like early to mid 20s. And Jocelyn is excited because she just got a promotion at her work. She works for a local hotel, and she had stayed in her small town where she had grown up. And she's excited to kind of tell her parents, like, oh, I got a promotion, during one of their big family dinners. And her sister is coming back to town. And her sister is 4 years younger than her, but they are very super competitive. But it feels, but they're competitive in an odd way, because Jocelyn just feels like, you know, her younger sister was better at grades, better at school. You know, she was the first to get a boyfriend. She was the first to kind of do this. And, you know, she was the parents', you know, baby. And she just always seemed to kind of reach these milestones that people typically see in their life before her. And she's felt like she's always kind of been overshadowed by her. So they always, you know, when it comes to holidays or just when they're all getting together, almost like, I have to have better news to share with the parents than you. And Jocelyn does this because she is hoping to glean several seconds of her parents' attention for herself, because she feels like all of her parents' attention when her and her sister are together with her parents is focused on her sister. And she had spilt the beans. Her sister already knew she was getting a promotion, and she had known that when they were doing this first family dinner, when her sister was first coming back to town, that she planned to announce to everybody that she got a promotion, just to kind of help kick off the festivities. And when she arrives at the diner, her sister is there with a boy that she has never heard of, and even though she knows almost every person that her sister has been with. So, like, they're competitive, but they're somewhat close. So it was an interesting dynamic. But she's engaged. And she's just like, and she really kind of struggled internally because she didn't want it, because she was really just kind of like, this was my moment. We talked about it, that I was, going to have the spotlight on me for a second. And her sister, even though she knew she was doing this, basically brought some person in that nobody even knew that she was dating. And they were suddenly engaged. And she was, so her internal struggle wasn't that she was like, because she was just like, I'm happy for my sister. It's not that I don't want her to be in love and I don't want her to get married, but did she have to do it like this? And she had already spilled the beans to the parents before she had even gotten to the diner for dinner. And then a lot of the Christmas festivities were focused on pre-wedding planning and not as much on Christmas. So then she kind of felt even more of an outsider. And I don't know, I just really connected with her, surprisingly, because I've definitely had similar thoughts. Maybe different circumstances, but I am the oldest of my siblings, and there were childhood things and issues with one of my stepmothers that I guess finally allowed me to move in with my mom when I was in 5th grade. And I have kind of felt ever since then, maybe even before I moved out, that, in my father's eyes, I am not at the same level or reach the same achievements as mostly my youngest sister, because she's the only one that stayed with him the entire time, but somewhat on my brother as well. But that's also because I feel like I'm also very much into different things than everybody else. I'm very much a nerd, and I'm into gaming and comic books and romance books and K-pop and J-pop and anime, and like I've always had these other interests from the rest of my family, so it's always been kind of contentious. But anyway, this isn't about me. But because I've had somewhat similar feelings of, and just internal strife of wanting to feel like you've been seen by your parents and appreciated, or like feel the pride coming from them about what you've been able to accomplish in your life. But it just seems like it's like either never enough, or somebody else always has to like top you. And it's not that you want your siblings to be doing badly. It's just, it'd be nice if they could share the spotlight. So I liked that we saw that internal struggle with her. And then there was a little bit with her sister, but I gave it 4.5 stars because, anyway, I completely got off on a tangent, which is not new for me. But So there is a boy named Luke who she has known since elementary school, and he used to, pull her pigtails, and there's a kind of ongoing thing about him pulling her pigtails during their elementary school like Christmas recital, and it caused her to forget the words to Silent Night. And so he's always just kind of been like picking on her, and I wouldn't say bullying her, but like picking on her, teasing on her. And this is dual POV, so we get his POV, and it's because he doesn't feel like she is way out of his league, and he kind of proposes when she's having a freak out about her sister that he fake dates her for the month until after her sister goes home, and they're out doing Christmas tree shopping, and it just suddenly blurts out that she's dating Luke. And then they have to finagle a fake dating thing. And I don't know. I really liked them. I loved that he's been pining her since they were practically in elementary school, which was super cute. And I felt like the chemistry was really well done. And you could tell that even though like she was always just like annoyed with him, and she had, because he was always picking on her and picking on other people, and he was like the class jokester and stuff, that she had some preconceived notions about him and without really seeing the real him, because a lot of it is a front, and he does talk about that in his POV. So I don't know, it hit all the buttons I want. It had a couple steamy scenes, which I was surprised for, but they didn't feel like super rushed, because you did get a good sense of their established relationship, but then they also work at the same hotel. He does room service and deals with like kitchen stuff, and she is a manager of like the concierges and like the floor, and that was her big promotion, is she's now the night manager. But I really loved it. I thought it was super cute. I'm definitely intrigued. The series has Halloween, Thanksgiving, I think, Christmas, New Year's, and I want to say Valentine's Day. So I definitely will try to look at the New Year's one once we get closer to New Year's. But let's do our tea, because I've chatted a lot longer than I expected, but I'm super excited. And this is a pretty fine mesh. I have one that's a little bit finer, but this is a very crumbly tea. It doesn't have like big tea leaves. It definitely oversteeped it, but I'm excited about oversteeping it. But now that it's brewed, I'm super excited. The cinnamon's still super prevalent, but a lot of the like cardamom and other spices are starting to come through, and I'm like salivating. This smells delicious, and I don't know if you can tell, it's this really pretty like brown color. I don't know how to do this. Okay. I feel like you get more of a punch of the spices in the scent and not as much of the taste. But I know honeybush is usually a light base, so I don't expect that to be super prevalent. It smells super good, and it smells and it looks very strong. And it tastes spicy, but it's very mellow. So I think I'm going to let this steep a little bit longer. And then I will come back and let you know what I think after I steep it a little bit longer and see where we are from there. But I will be right back. Hello, it has been about 15 minutes later, and I've let it steep more. I was thinking maybe I talked too much before I put it in here, so the water wasn't quite as hot, even though it was still steaming. It wasn't as hot as when like straight out of my kettle, like still actively boiling, but Honestly, there's a touch more flavor, but it is a very just light chai. I think if you're someone who's not a fan of chais or strong spice ones, this one might be a little more palatable. I think it is super spicy still. Not as in like spicy hot, but like it has a lot of spices to it. The cinnamon is definitely, I'm feeling on the tongue still a lot more prominent, but some of those other ones are kind of mellowing it out a little bit. This is, I'm enjoying this, but I'm a big fan of chai teas anyway. I haven't met a chai tea I did not like, so I think if I added a touch of like cream to this and maybe just a touch of sugar, maybe a flavored sugar, like my vanilla sugar that I used to have, or one of the other ones like that, I think that would certainly elevate this a lot more and just kind of lend, I don't know what the proper term is. Credence, lend, I don't know, more. I feel like the cream would allow some of the chai flavors to be a little bit more bold, if that makes sense. But yeah, I like this. I'm going to give this like a 7.58 out of 10. I don't know if this is one that I would be buying separately, like buy a thing on its own, but if I were getting a chai mix and this was included, I would be totally fine with that. Or I would, even if I could create my own chai mix, I might put this one in there as one of the chai options. Because I know sometimes they do like multi-pack stuff, but no, I enjoy this. I think I'm gonna go with 8. I'm gonna bump it up. I'm gonna go with 8 out of 10, because the more it's sitting on my tongue, the more spices are coming through after. So it has a really nice aftertaste. And the aftertaste is almost a little bit more spicier than while you're drinking it. Maybe it's just me though, but yep. And yeah, this is good. This is good. This is a winner. A great way to kick off Vlogmas 2022 and December 2022 and the advent calendar. Oh, I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to leave me a pumpkin emoji or something fun or something honey related, because it's the honey bush pumpkin chai once again down below. And I'm excited for Vlogmas, so if you have any novellas that you're interested in me checking out, because I'm going to attempt to put these up the day after I film them, so day 1 will go up December 2nd and so forth, definitely pop them in the comments and I will try to get it added to my holiday novella list. And if you know any like Hanukkah or Chanukah or any other like winter holidays outside of Christmas, definitely let me know those too. But I will see you all tomorrow.